Hello, hello, and welcome back to the channel. As most of you know, I'm Topher. And for those of you who don't know and just randomly decided to click on my video, welcome to the channel. I'm Topher. Thank you for stopping by. So we're here to do reaction, and we are reacting to episode 8, the final episode in season 1 of Gaya Pelikula. And it has been just such an emotional roller coaster of a ride. Like, you guys let me know from the jump that this and Game Boys are like top tier BL series, and I can 100% see why. Got my little memorabilia to commemorate the final episode of at least for the first season of what's out right now. But before we get into the reaction, I want to just reference something I said in my last reaction to episode 7. I made mention that I hadn't really reacted to the series in like a couple of weeks. It had been like 5 days since I had posted one for you guys, but for me it had been a couple of weeks, mainly because like I had gotten a lot of comments, especially on episode 6, a lot of things in the comment section, and even just sent to me my DMs and whatnot, not really explicitly saying what was going to happen, but leaving kind of hints as to things that might potentially happen, feelings that you might have, just general moods of the episode and whatnot. And it was not really an intentional spoiler, but for me I was kind of like if I already know what to expect to happen, then I've just kind of braced myself. So then that's why I spent the whole episode 7 just kind of bracing myself, waiting for this bad thing to happen, waiting for the other shoe to drop, just expecting this stuff to happen, so I wasn't as emotionally raw as I have been in my past reactions. And ever since uploading my reaction to episode 7, I've gotten so many just sweet, kind comments on the video, things sent to me via Twitter, DMs, just in general, people just apologizing, whether it was them who might have commented something, or apologizing for other people in general for kind of leaking semi-quasi spoilers and whatnot. And I just want to say, thank you to everyone who's just been so kind. My intention when I went on that little rant on episode 7 wasn't to like point the finger of blame and to like yell at anyone or scold anyone like that. Like, I didn't want to do that. My goal was just to say, hey, I know you guys have been very adamant in all of my videos for the last week, asked me where the reactions to episode 7 and 8 are. Very adamant, and I just want to give you guys a little insight as to why I wasn't rushing to go watch them. I needed to distance myself. I wasn't trying to blame anyone or make anyone feel bad in any way, shape, or form. I just wanted to say, hey, my motivation was kind of just like taken away at this particular point, so I just need to step away and then come back later with kind of a fresh mind and whatnot. But so thank you to everyone everyone who's watched, everyone who's been along for the journey, everyone who was so kind to comment their thoughts along the way. And like I said in that little rant before, like, I don't think that anyone was commenting spoilers maliciously. I don't think that they were trying to ruin the experience. I think that they were just genuinely excited that I was getting to a particular episode, and they were genuinely wanting to see my reaction. So yeah, just thanks. And yeah, so enough of that. Like, we've got episode 8, and yeah, episode 7 left us in an emotional state. Vlad and Carl are kind of on the rocks, because Carl, even though yes, they had a beautiful scene in episode 6 at the end there, and they've had a beautiful week together. And we saw the Dear Carl video that Vlad made for Carl, which just illustrates how much Vlad actually feels for Carl. Carl is just not in a place yet where he's ready to openly admit to the world that he's either gay or maybe not gay. He might be bisexual, or he might be whatever. He might be anything he wants to be. He might be pansexual, asexual, whatever. But he's not ready to admit to the world that he likes Vlad. And it's a very real thing, because what we do behind closed doors isn't necessarily everybody's business. And I just don't, even though we're in a little bit more modern times, like his uncle was saying, people aren't ready until they're ready, so we can't force Carl out of the closet. So unfortunately that led to kind of a splitting between him and Vlad, because Vlad is in a place where he's out and proud and he's loving very hard, and he wants someone who can be proud of him and love him in public, and not just treat him as an experiment, because he's been down that road. And Carl just doesn't seem like even though he has feelings, he's just not ready. He's not in that place yet. So we're just gonna see what episode 8 leads us to. And yeah. Wait a minute. If I remember, you guys voted on a poll, and the majority of you guys said you wanted Vanna to come do this. That's better. Alright, let's get into episode 8. May moments na from Pinoy.
Uy, mamaya, last movie na natin.
I'll miss this.
Oh, Tito Sans!
Vlad, go with Sam. May gusto ka ba sa kapatid ko?
Hindi sa ganung paraan natin.
Hey, it's okay, Carl, calm down, okay? We'll figure this out. Simplihan ko naman yung tanong, okay? Gusto mo ba ako?
Okay tayo, Vlad.
So why act like I just accused you of a crime?
Alright, Patricia, what you got for me this episode? You haven't let me down yet. Ready to feel all my feels with this music.
Uukit sa puno ating mga ngalan.
Oh, he has to watch him take his stuff too.
Nang kung maligaw ay palatandaan. Sa away at kantsawan mat pagmamalabis, may pag-ibig pa rin, huwag ka na umalis. Dahil dito na susukat ang layo, sentro nitong daigdig. Wala nang makadadaig. Sa atin pa rin ang uwi. Patubala ni pusong pagal, magbabalik sa pagmamahal.
Pumunta lang.
Tawagin mo lang ako. Tawagin mo ako.
Tara na, Vlad.
The year na binili ko tong condo na to,
Okay, we're only like 5 minutes in and already they got
a
the
boyfriend
waterworks
broke
coming.
up with me.
But my eyeliner's still good.
Makina naman talaga ako dati. Pakitaan lang ako ng kabutihan. Parang kaya na akong mahalin. Nakakainis lang kasi somehow, yun lang ang naalala ng mga tao. Pati ng papa mo. Kebs, kung ako lang yung kilala nilang baklang engineer or na nakabili na ako ng condo while they're still renting. Basta bakla ako at may iniyakan akong lalaki. Tapos,
It's such a shame too. That's the way it is though sometimes.
in defense of my generation, we barely received it. See? Love. Kaya, pag nandyan, talagang kakapit kami. Kasi, hindi namin kinalakhan yun eh. At di namin alam kung may darating ba uli. Okay, kukwento mo ba sa akin o huhulaan ko na lang? Oh, taray, sabihin ba yung kamino? Pero Carl, I have a favor to ask. Whatever happens, you need to remember. I just got my heart broken. Again. Hindi ako laging nasasaktan dahil bakla ako. Lagi lang kasi akong nagmamahal. But look, all my achievements are still mine.
Yep.
So don't turn me into a cautionary tale. Masyado akong bongga to be one.
Kito. Alam ko namang wala akong ginagawang masama eh. Pero bakit takot pa rin?
Bakla po ako.
Hindi ko pa po kaya sabihin kay Papa. Mahal ko po yung Vlad. Pero di ko kasi nabanggit.
Soon. Anggihin, soon.
Oh God. Makeup check. Okay. I'm still good. It's gonna be a rough episode.
Hi, Ana.
Ay, Opa! Kumusta? How was your birthday?
Ito, exciting. Pinayagan ako na advisor ko kumuha ng mga subject na related sa pelikula. Alam niya na gusto kong mag-shift. Ikaw, kamusta balik buhay na?
Palo ka. Para kang si ate.
Actually, feeling ko nga final form ko yung ate mo eh.
Oh my God, please wag.
Buti nga, hindi kami madalas magkita kasi lagi siya may pasok. Like now, I'm free, nakakapag-yoga-yoga ako. Pero, alam mo, fairness, na-miss ko.
Anyway,
Okay.
trust me on this, okay?
Okay.
This is the mature thing to do.
Pero huwag ka magpakalasing, please.
Yeah. I mean, there's still Berlin to look forward to, right? Bawal magka-love life, graduating senior, almost a thesis.
Please don't go there. Buti pala, pinyagan ko ulit mag-stay dyan.
Pinilit ko eh.
Nakakanayin yung kwento, pero I met someone.
What?
Come on, Sue!
Magliligpit pa ako rito tsaka parating na yung bagit. Sige na.
Sige, sige.
Bye-bye! Tawagan kita
Bye,
ulit
Ana.
later ah. Love you! Nakakunig yung kwento.
Oy! Oy! Oy!
Bye.
Kwento! Hey, just one drink, okay?
Funny mo, universe.
Come on. Y'all gonna play this ship's passing in the night game with me this whole episode.
Extend your contract. You have more ghost riding jobs.
I'm sorry, sir, but the SEM has already started. I won't have the time for it. But thank you for everything.
All right.
Unless...
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to read my name in the byline next time. Do you have a job where I can do that?
I'll see if I can find something for you.
Alright, sir. Thank you.
That's right. Don't be afraid to ask for what you want. That goes for Vlad too. Don't be afraid. Him and this damn rice. Hello.
Sana gaya ng dati, noong palagi at parati. Alam ang iniisip mo, alala, lagi kang naaalala. Lalo na ngayong wala ka, ikaw ang iniisip ko. May babalik pa ba? Dating ganito, ikaw lang makapagpapahawi sa tuwing tiwalay na babali ng takot ko. Di na muling maririnig sa'yo ang sarili.
Ano mo yung isip mo? Sino ko?
he drunk? Is he drunk and trying to get into the wrong apartment?
Sino yan?
Sino ha? Ba't ka na sa unit ko? Hoy, sagat! Gago! Sino nga? Ba't ka na sa unit ko? Eh, ikaw ba yan? Ano ba? Sabi ko...
Sir, hindi po sa inyo tong unit.
Can't be that long you don't recognize his voice.
Sir, sabi nga hindi sa inyo tong unit na to.
Not your unit.
Not my ex.
I'm not your ex.
Not my ex. You're not my ex. Baby. Oh, baby, no.
Kakapal ko lang. Kakalat na ako.
Ano?
Wala. Uy, Vlad! Kainis lang eh.
Ang init naman, Arky. Wala ka bang fire ko? Mag-ubad ako dito. Sige ka. Carl, mag-ubad ako dito. Do you hear me? Dito babasa siya.
Wait lang.
Yan. O, dali. Tanggalin mo yung isa kong shoes. I'm weekend, baby.
He is so
Tantanan mo nga
gone
ako.
right now.
Yung isa nga nahubad mo eh.
Oh, matapos mo akong saktan, tatanggalin lang ng sapatos ko yung pagkakas.
I see he takes after Judy to guilting people.
There. Fetch, doggy. Fetch. Come here. Ito rin. Yan. Ito rin. Uy. Sarap. Yan. Good boy. Pancake.
Alak pa.
Ba't mo alam? Obvious ba?
Sinukaan mo kaya ako?
Orte. Tapon ko ulit oh.
Tubig, gusto mo?
I wanna brush my teeth. Lasang sisig yung mouth ko eh. Do you wanna try?
Sige lang. Nandyan pa yung toothbrush mo.
Uy, hindi pa niya tinatapon. Umaasa pa siya.
Toothbrush ka na nga. Nangalingaso ka kaya.
Ikaw nga, amoy suka pa eh.
Kanino kasalanan yun?
Sa'yo. Nilasing mo ako eh. I met with my ex kanina. Don't worry, it's not like that. We did so for closure. Apparently he cheated on me. Hindi career yung reason why he broke up with me. He did it because he fell in love with the guy. I got so angry na I walked out of the bar kanina. And it was like an entire scene. But if I'm being honest, mas nagalit ako sa fact na alam ng lahat ng friends nila yung tungkol sa kanila. Whereas I wasn't even allowed to tell any of our friends in the org. And I get it. I mean, trust me, I do. I'm sorry that I tried to take you
Pero
with me.
tama ka
Okay?
naman eh.
I'm sorry na pinilit ko.
Tama ka. Frankie. Alam mo, Femisa.
Hey, that's great. You said it. But out there, Carl, are you ready to say it out there? It's okay.
It's two people he's told, though.
But I'm sorry, Carl. I don't want to be silent about my love. I've done that enough. I want to be out there. I deserve it. Just like you deserve to take your time inside. Okay? You do.
Sorry.
Don't you know by now?
Dito ko na lang muna. Miss mo na maghugas? Sorry. Sorry kung paano. Tapos yung gabi mo na. Gagawin ko naman kung kaya kong baguhin.
Hindi pa naman Tell me a story, Carl. What's your alternate ending? Ano mangyayari kung hindi natin kailangan matakot?
Tulog na mahal ko.
If only.
Di mo na kailangan pang tumayo, kumibo, maglaro pa ng isipan. Tulog na mahal ko. Hinding-hindi kita iiwan, nakaupo sa tabi, nagbabantay magdamag. At di ng gabing ito
It's little things like this that we take for granted.
Sa iisang mundong ginagawa, susubukan bang pigilan ang pagtakbo ng tadhana?
And if one thing were different in the world,
Kung alam mo sa
it could be completely different
na
for
wala nang masasaya. Tulog na mahal ko, ang bukas ay darating. Sa iyo ang panahon ay ang ating kaibigan. Tulog na mahal ko, hayaan mong ika'y bitawan ng halik. Ang iyong kamay ay aking hahawakan. Atin ang gabing ito at di may kakailan, na tayong dalawa sa iisang mundong ginagawa. Susubukan bang pigilan ang pagtakbo ng tadhana? Kung alam mo sa puso mo na wala nang masasaya.
Bakit?
Atin ang gabing ito at
Sorry.
di may
Hindi
kakailan,
ko naman kasalanan.
na tayong
Hindi mo kasalanan.
dalawa sa iisang mundong ginagawa. Susubukan bang pigilan ang pagtakbo ng tadhana? Kung alam mo sa puso mo na wala nang masasaya.
Gusto ko dadalhin kung saan-saan.
still intact. Okay.
Oh, ano nang balak natin yan ngayon? Opa,
Oo. Bawi sa grades. Mas madali makapag-shift.
tapos, ang komportable dito sa sarili mong dimensyon, no, Carl? Pero, sabi mo, dito ka lang titira. Hindi ka magkukulong. Sige nga, when was the last time you made a friend na ikaw ang unang nag-approach?
Kay Vlad.
Hey, Vlad. Tapos, ang special lang meron sa inyo, di ba? Pero, hanggang dito lang siya. Hanggang dito lang siya sa lugar na to. Hindi ko naman sinasabi na walang bilang yun. Pero kasi, lagi kasi makikisali yung realidad. Doon, wala tayong kawala. Hindi ko sinasabing mag-out ka, ha? Sa'yo yan. Sinasabi ko lang, mabuhay ka sa labas. Hawak mo pa ang oras mo, kaya samantalahin mo yun, ha? Please? Dapat kanilang makita.
ko to.
Saan? Na ano? Makilala? Madiskubre? Sige nga, bakit gusto mong magpelikula?
Gusto ko magkwento.
Okay, kaninong kwento?
Sa akin.
Sinong kakwentuhan mo? Bakit sila magkakaroon ng pakialam sa kwento mo? Ikaw, wala ka namang pakialam sa kanila.
May alam naman ako sa kanila. Ana.
O edi isama mo ang kwento nila.
Unti-unting nawawala ang iyong mga salita. Dahan-dahang naglalaho ang lahat ng pangako. Napapansing malayo ang iyong tingin.
Lumabas ka.
Tuluyan ka na ba mawawala sa'kin? Hanap-hanapin ang mga mo sa gabi. Ulit-ulitin ang bawat kwento at sikreto natin hanggang wala na sa
Ito lang pala.
puso ko. Hanggang sa muling tayo'y
Well, despite this episode trying, the eyeliner stayed intact. So, I win. But, it's not the happy ending that I was expecting, that, I was hoping for when starting the series. Like, I start these series with the, just like I do whenever I watch, whatever romantic comedy, with the thought process that in the end, there's going to be the big kiss, the happily ever after, and, we're just going to leave on the happily ever after. But it still ended in a place where it's still a happy ending in a sense. Like, yeah, Vlad and Carl aren't together at the moment, but they reached a place of just understanding where it was just left very open-ended, where there's hope. So no, it's not the happy ending that, happily ever after, but there's hope. And hope is such a powerful thing. So it's a very hopeful ending. It leaves the door open for all kinds of things, and it's just hopeful. Hopeful for the best. Hopeful that Carl will eventually find his way. Conversation he had with Anna there towards the end, where she was telling him, you and Vlad had something special, and I'm not taking anything away from that, but that was all lived in here, and you've got to start living out in the world. Not saying that you have to come out right now. You do you, live your life, do you in your own time, but you have to learn how to not just live life within the confines of this space. Like, this is a safe space, but you can't live your life barricaded in this safe space. You've got to go out and explore the world. You've got to see what's out there, see who's out there, and just learn about the world, learn about yourself. And then, like, in time, as you explore, you learn more about yourself, learn more about the world, you become stronger, you become ready, and eventually, he'll get up the courage. He'll hopefully, make it out there and be able to say loud and proud, I'm gay. But the fact that he was able to say it not just to his Uncle Santi, but also to Vlad, I mean, that's two people. I mean, he's probably said it to Anna, I'm assuming at this point. They didn't show it, but I'm assuming at this point he said it. So that's, three people that he's been able to directly, say the words to. And, yes, I get it. They've been through a lot. They are very good friends, family. They've been through a lot together. So, it took a lot to build up to that level of comfort for him to be able to come out and say it. But still, the fact that he was finally able to reach the point where he could just get the words out. Because if you remember from the, beginning of the series, and it's one of those things Vlad kept, harping on Carl about, don't be afraid of the word. Don't be afraid to say it. There's nothing negative. There's attached to it. Don't be afraid of this word. So the fact that he finally reached a point where he could just say the words, it's such a powerful thing, such a beautiful thing, and it's just such a real thing, because this very easily could have gone the way of some movies or TV shows where, the character discovers that they're gay, and then all of a sudden they just tell everybody, and it's just been boom, overnight, everybody knows, everybody's fine with it. But that's not the way it is for everyone. That's not the way it is for everybody. Some people struggle for years and years and years. Some people never make it out. Some people never make it out the closet. Their fears just keep them trapped in there. So the fact that he's able to just get the words out is such a powerful step forward. It's such an inspirational step forward for people who are still who are still closeted. I had someone comment on my reaction to episode 7, saying that, this story is such an important story to them personally, because this is their story. They're closeted at the moment, and they asked if I would share my coming out story, which, okay, sure, fine. I'm an open book. Thankfully for me, I don't have a very traumatic experience when it came to coming out. Yeah, I was closeted all throughout, middle school, high school, all that kind of stuff, kept to myself. I was very much a loner. Like, I had one, like, real friend in high school, who's still my friend to this day. She's my oldest friend that I have in the world. She's been with me through good, bad, up, down, and, you know, she's stuck with me for life at this point. But outside of her, like, I didn't have very many friends. I had acquaintances. I had people who, like, my grandmother was the principal of the school, so, like, everybody knew who I was, but I wouldn't say that I had, like, friends. Like, I spent my lunch hours indoors, eating my lunch, doing my work. Worked hard, you know, work. But it wasn't until, like, I'm not gonna say I always knew, but I always knew. Like, I got memories of things from when I was a kid and just thoughts and all that kind of stuff. And, like, growing up, my older brother always teased me about it. And my mom, very protective. She's protective of all of her children, but me specifically, because she knew. And one thing she wasn't going to let happen is she wasn't going to let people hurt her baby on her watch. So I'm very thankful and very fortunate that I had her as my mom. Well, half. She's still alive, obviously. I mean, hell, she's in my guest room right now because she's doing things at my house. But yeah, I was very fortunate to have her growing up, even though I didn't have a word for it growing up, or I didn't act on anything. Like, I wasn't, like, running around like, ooh, I love this boy, or ooh, like no, like, I was still just your normal kid running around doing kid stuff and whatnot. But did I have very flamboyant tendencies? Yes. Did I have a habit of wearing very extra large shirts that didn't fit me, but they felt like a dress, so then I would take a jump rope and tie it around my waist so you can cinch in my waist? Yes. Did I take a do-rag and put it on my head and pretend that it's a wig? Absolutely. Did I walk with my mother's heels? Absolutely. You know, did I do these things? Yes. So, like, you'd have to be... I was a little bit more obvious, I guess you could say, but you kind of have to be blind to, you know, not really pick up on these little cues. But, you know, I was still just a kid being a kid. I wasn't, like, running around, like, making out with boys and all this kind of stuff. I was just being a kid doing a kid stuff. But yeah, that's one thing that, like, my older brother would, you know, make fun of me all the time. He'd pick on me, tease me, whatever, and I didn't really have... I don't know. Like I said, I didn't really have any kind of, like... I wasn't out there just saying, oh yes, I like boys, I'm gay, whatever. I was just living my life. I was being me. So to have him, like, you know, pick on me and make fun of me, I'm guessing it hurt at some point. Like, I probably blocked a lot of it from my memory at this point. I don't remember a whole lot of stuff from my childhood. But from what I'm told, my brother used to pick on me very much about it, and my mother used to beat his ass. Not when I was around, but she would take him and she would... Because if there's one thing she's not going to have, like I said, she's not going to have people hurting her baby. She's not going to have people picking on me or any of her children. But also, she's not going to sit here and raise a bunch of homophobic people, or raise a bunch of people who are going to be prejudiced and making fun of people for, you know, living a different lifestyle or whatever. She don't run that game. She's not about that lifestyle. So, yeah, like, as a kid, I always got that kind of growing up, or got that teasing growing up, so I felt like probably by the time I reached middle school, high school, where I was kind of, like, really developing and understanding, you know, you go through puberty and, you know, you see things, and that's when hormones start kicking in, like, okay, yes, I understand what these feelings are, and, you know, I probably am one of them homosexual people that I keep hearing about. But I think just, you know, from growing up getting teased about it, and then also just having it just be like the norm at the time to associate the word gay with, you know, being stupid or whatever. Like, you know, like, people are say, oh man, why are you doing that? Oh, that's so gay, or whatever. Or, oh man, you're so gay. You know, not necessarily saying that they're homosexual, but, you know, saying, oh, that's stupid, or that's, you know, retarded, or, you know, those kind of words, which, you know, I don't like that word. But the fact that people would use the word gay synonymously with other things that were so negative and derogatory, you know, just made me not want to come out and be like, hey, yeah, I'm gay, woo, yeah, because the last thing I want is people to see me negatively and derogatorily. So, you know, kept it to myself. Yeah, went off to college, and even then, still, I didn't have very many friends. I was very much a loner. I commuted. I stayed at home the whole time and commuted back and forth. So I didn't really make a whole lot of connections with people on campus. But that's when I started to put myself out there a little bit more. I, you know, enrolled myself into dance classes because, well, I was trying to lose weight, but getting into dance classes, I had an amazing teacher, Linda Lopez, who basically I credit her for my entire career. Like, honestly, if it wasn't for me being in her introduction to tap class all those years ago, and then other subsequent classes, and her pushing me to audition for things and just do stuff, y'all wouldn't be looking at me right now. Like, none of this would be happening right now. My life would have taken a completely different career path. I mean, yeah, I got my degree in mathematics. I'm a mathematician. That's what I do. But like, I probably wouldn't have even ventured anywhere near the performing arts or, you know, the performing world. So I credit her for everything that you see of me having this channel, just everything. Like, so thank you, Linda. Love you. But yeah, I started putting myself out there, took dance classes, took some voice classes, and then after I graduated, it wasn't until I was 20. Yeah, graduated college 20, then turned 21 the summer after. So it wasn't until I was like 21 going into grad school that I really started putting myself out there and like just living my life as a gay man. Because like I just reached a point where I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna live my life. So I don't even remember having a formal coming out, so to speak, when it came to my family. I just reached a point where I was around all of these clearly out and proud, you know, gay men from, you know, being in theater, being in dance and performing, all that kind of stuff, and just being in college in general. So seeing how amazing those people were and how comfortable they were with themselves and how confident they were with themselves, I was like, you know what, that's something I want for myself. So I was like, you know, I'm just gonna live my life. I'm not gonna have like a formal, I'm gay, whatever. I'm just gonna live. And, you know, if people have questions, sure, I'll tell them, but I'm not gonna like just have like a formal sit down, whatever. So that's pretty much how it was. I just started living my life a little bit more openly. And then I did have one sit down, or no, actually the first person that I verbalized it to was actually my older brother, because I remember one day he texted me and he was like, hey, are you bisexual? I don't know where it came from, but I just responded. I was like, yes. I went through a little phase there where I felt like it was going to be an easier transition for me to tell them that I was bisexual and then transition into the homosexuality rather than just jumping straight into the dick, you know. But no, I've always been a very homosexual man. Women are beautiful, but I don't want any part of it. But yes, he texted me that, and I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay, cool, whatever. And I was like, okay, cool, great. And that was that. And then I remember sitting down, being in the car with my best friend, who I mentioned earlier, and my little sister, and one of her good friends. And I just said, hey, I think I might be bisexual. Again, going through that whole bisexual to homosexual phase, just to ease people into it. I don't know. Live your life, people. If you're bisexual, be bisexual. But if you're homosexual, just dive in. Just dive in. Don't worry about easing other people into it. It's fine. Yeah. Then at that point, like I remember I was dating this guy I met at a roller rink, because roller rinks were a thing. And yeah, I just lived my life openly. I didn't really have like a formal sit down with my parents and coming out. So, but they know now. Like, obviously, like I said, my mom is in my guest room. She's over there. She's seen all this. She's one of my biggest supporters. She loves it. But yeah, I was very fortunate in a sense having the family that I did, because like even though like I stayed closeted for a while, I knew that there wasn't any reason for me to. I knew that I could always talk to my parents, especially my mom. She's always made it very, very clear, no matter what you do, whatever happens, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, like you can tell me anything, we can talk about anything. And we've had some conversations, child. We've talked about all kinds of things. Child, the conversations we have. But yeah, I was just very, very fortunate in a sense. So I don't relate necessarily to some people who have very traumatic coming out stories, where like people have been, you know, family disowned them or kicked them out of the house or whatever. Thankfully, I don't have that situation. I know that there are a lot of people out there who worry about that, but at the same time, all I can really say is, and this show is just proof of that, like you reach a point where you can't afford to be afraid to live your life out in the world. Like what we do behind closed doors is our business, but there comes a certain time when you have to put yourself out there in the world. And it's an unfortunate thing that we still live in a world where people are being judged on their sexuality or the color of their skin, or, you know, whether their parents are rich or whatever. Like it's unfortunate that we still live in those kind of times. Like, yes, we've made lots of progress, things have changed immensely, but there's still a lot of work left to be done in the world. Sorry, I ran off on a different tangent, but yeah, someone asked me to give my coming out story. That was my coming out story. Let's see, back to the episode though. So it started off very, very, very depressingly, and like I said, the first 5 minutes they were trying to get me to ruin my makeup. Okay, first 5 minutes with Carl just fantasizing and seeing Vlad everywhere, and then, you know, just the cutting between like the happy memories and then Vlad packing up his stuff and then Carl having to stand there and watch him. I'm like, God, did we have to do this right now? Did we have to do the whole get my stuff packing and leaving right now? Could we not have just come back another day and done this? Like, could Carl have just gone to work and then Vlad come, get his stuff, leave his key and go? Like, did it have to be right then? Because Jesus Christ, that's so hard. That is so painful. Like, last thing I would want to watch is somebody whose heart I just broke have to collect all their stuff from my house and leave me. Like, that's the last thing. And then when Vlad's just standing there, at first, like, I thought, like, Vlad and Carl were, you know, saying these things, but then I realized these are just their inner thoughts, where Carl's just like, please just look back. And Vlad's like, just call my name. Like, each one of them is just waiting for the other one to just make the move, just to make the advance. Like, if one of them made the move, then the other one would have followed suit. And it's just, it hurts. It hurts. It's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. Like, God. So that happened. And Uncle Santi, he's like the MVP. Him and Judith and Anna. All the side characters in this are like the MVPs. Just like in Game Boys. Almost knocked over my background. But just like in Game Boys, how Pearl and Kai's mom were the MVPs in making that relationship happen and last. Like, Santi, Anna, and Judith, they were the MVPs of this because they even though we weren't able to keep the relationship together, they were able to give each of the characters just this better sense of understanding so that they can proceed in the world and hopefully, you know, find their way. But yeah, Santi, he just spoke very, very honestly, and he's like, you know, I've been hurt. I've been hurt so many times, and it's because I keep opening myself up to love. And, you know, the unfortunate thing is, there was this one instance where this guy, he broke my heart, and I cried, and that's all my family will ever see. That's all my family. So regardless of the fact that I've worked my ass off, the fact that I own this condo while your daddy and your mama are still over there renting, I own this piece. I have all these accomplishments. All they will ever see is the fact that I'm gay and I cried over a man. And it's like, you know, that hit me so damn hard. Like I felt that with a vengeance. I'm like, Lord, because I mean, I don't personally feel like I'm being judged by anyone right now, but you know, I'm sure there are people who see me and they're like, oh, okay, all they see is this flamboyantly gay man with painted nails and bleached blonde hair, you know, whatever, and all these mannerisms. And you know, that's fine, but like, I related to Santi so much in that moment. I'm like, you know what? I work my ass off. I have so many freaking accomplishments. I could go down the list. Like, you know, I work my ass off, and I do so much. Just like Santi, I got my own house. Okay, this piece, this is mine. This is my house. I paid for this. My name is on the mortgage. Nobody else's. Okay, I do this, that, the other. I work 3, 4, how many jobs? Plus, I got YouTube. I've got so many things that I do. Okay. And some people, all they will ever see is the fact that I'm a guy in a wig, or, you know, I'm a flamboyantly, you know, eccentric person. That's all they'll ever see of me. And it's like, you know what? It's unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. But at the end of the day, it doesn't take away any of my accomplishments. It doesn't take away any of the things that I've done. It doesn't take away any of the things I will do. So he's like, don't let me be a cautionary tale just because I got my heart broken, okay? I got my heart broken because I opened myself up to love, not because I'm gay. And Santi coming through with the wisdom. God, beautiful. So beautiful. And then one way I didn't see that this episode was gonna go, like I wasn't expecting them, the whole drunken visits between Vlad and Carl, I wasn't expecting that. Like, that was the last thing that I was expecting to see. If anything, I figured that they would make up at some point, but it would be a lot more like crying and professing of feelings and but no, it was just a very accidental happenstance. Vlad, drunk out of his mind, picked the wrong apartment, and that moment when Carl opened the door and he's like, this isn't my unit, and Carl's like, no, it's not your unit. I'm like, God, don't say that. I mean, it's not his unit, but God, the weight behind what he was saying there, it's just like, Jesus. And then Vlad's like, you're not my ex, and he's like, I'm not your ex, and he's like, you're not my ex, and then he just started breaking down crying, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, don't do this to me. Like, just the weight of, they're saying very simple sentences that, you know, really, they're just, you know, honest. You're not my ex. This is my apartment. You know, cool, whatever. But like, the way that they're saying it, the way that they're acting it, the weight behind everything that they're saying, it's just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then he threw up, which was a nice injection of humor to break that, you know, very heavy moment that we were having there. Because I if we kept on with the heaviness, I don't know if my eyeliner would have been able to hold up to it, but it did. But yeah, then they just, once Vlad finally came to, and after, you know, he had his little drunken hissy fit, throwing his shoes and trying to guilt Carl into taking off his other shoe, and, you know, it's like, oh, I need to brush my teeth, because, like, after that whole fun little interaction they had there, and Carl's like, oh, your toothbrush is still here, and I'm like, oh, God. But, you know, once Vlad was a little bit more coherent, and they just sat down and they just had a very honest conversation, and it was just very mature, very honest, and I'm happy. I was very happy to see it happen, because like I said in the last episode, I feel like everyone understood where everyone was coming from. Vlad understood why Carl couldn't say, yes, I love this person. Carl understood why Vlad was upset and leaving. Judith understood that Carl has feelings but he can't say it. You know, Santi understands. Like, everyone was understanding. Things still ended the way that they did in episode 7. So this conversation just reaffirmed and just put them back on the same page where, yes, they understand where both of them are coming from. And Vlad's like, I can't live my life quiet. Like, I can't love quietly. Like, I've done that too many times, and I deserve I deserve love where I can be out and proud and loud in the world. Just like you deserve your time inside. You deserve your time to yourself. I'm not gonna rush you to come out, but you deserve this time. Everyone deserves this time. And you know, when you're ready, you know, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, it just, it's sad to, you know, see them not together, but at the same time, like I said, it just ended in a very hopeful way. Like the whole episode just left me feeling hopeful and positive for what could happen. Carl seems to be on a good path where, you know, he's in the process of transitioning majors, and you know, he's putting himself out there in the world, following Anna's advice. Vlad, well, I guess we don't really know where Vlad stands right now. Like, yes, we know Vlad can't love or can't, you know, be with Carl while being, you know, secret and closeted. Like, we know that. But I guess I don't really know if Vlad is planning to wait around for him. But he's definitely at least in a place where, like, he can have a friendship with him. They can still maintain that friendship that they cultivated in the earlier episodes. And they can be around each other. They can hang out, and it doesn't have to be romantic, even though, you know, and the scene with them, God, when Vlad was like, tell me, well, Carl kept apologizing, and Vlad's like, look, just tell me about your alternate ending. And we just got that whole scene where they were just at dinner. They're just at dinner, having a good time, and I said that, you know, that's something that we, like, a lot of us, we just take for granted. The fact that, you know, we can just hang out with our friends. We can just hang out with our friends openly, no judgment, just have a good time. And yeah, doesn't matter if they're gay, doesn't matter if they're straight, doesn't matter if, you know, whatever's going on, we can just hang out with our friends and just have a good evening and just judgment-free zone. Where there are a lot of people who, like Carl right now, can't live that because Carl's afraid of, you know, what his dad's gonna think, what his family's gonna think. He's afraid of letting people down. He's afraid of what society's gonna think. So he can't have that night. He can't have that, just that innocent night in where it's just dinner and hanging out with your friends and your family. He can't have that because he's not in a place where he can live his life openly out of fear. And it's so unfortunate that we live in a society, we live in a world where people are still afraid. People are still afraid. And it shouldn't be that way. Like Santi said in last episode, why isn't love enough? Love should be enough. It shouldn't matter who you love. The fact that people find love should be enough. That should be enough to let a relationship happen, to let a relationship flourish. But no, there are all these other factors, all these other things in the world and reality where, you know, it's just, no matter, despite having all these feelings and having all this intense love between them, it's just not enough right now. It's not enough, and it's just unfortunate. But yeah, that whole scene was beautiful, and that's another point when they were trying to come for my eyeliner, and then when they were just lying in the bed, and Carl's like, can we just stay here forever? Because, again, it's just those small moments between them, behind closed doors, where Carl is free to be himself, and he's free to embrace Vlad, he's free to just live the life that he wants to live. But Vlad's like, no, because I want to take you everywhere. I can't just stay here. I won't. I can show you the world. Like, you know, I want to take you everywhere. I want the world to see. I want to be able to tell the world, hey, this is mine. This is my man. And Carl's just not in place yet. But like I said, it ended in a very hopeful place between them. Everyone seems to be on a good path of just self-discovery, and we just have to wait and see. So it's not this very sad, depressing, super awful ending that I was expecting, that you guys kept letting me know down in the comment section. It's a little bit more positive, a little bit more optimistic, and just real. it's real. It's very, very real because, like I said, sometimes love just isn't enough to make a relationship work. And then this is just one of those instances where love, the intense love they have, it's not enough. It's not enough. It sucks that it's not enough, but it's not enough. Carl needs to discover things about himself, and he needs to figure out how he can live life out in the open. And yeah, but overall, great episode, a great end to just a great series. You guys told me from the beginning this was one of those God tier level BL series, and then someone else put in the comments a couple days ago that it's not a BL series, it's a gay drama, because a lot of the BL series tend to be ending in fairy tale endings, happy ending, blah 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 blah, which is cool. That's all well and good, but this is very much just like real life gay drama. Like, life's not always happy endings. It's not sunshine and roses all the time. It's ups, it's downs, it's hardships, it's discovery, it's tears, it's laughter, it's all of that. So it was a just God tier show. I'm not even going to categorize it. It's not a God tier BL series. It's not a God tier gay drama. It's just God tier show series. Like, it's something that people have put in the comments a lot, that they wish that it was like a required watching for people in school and whatnot, because it's helped so many people come to terms with who they are, come out, and like, I just feel like it's one of those things where there would be resistance from some people, those super duper conservative people and whatnot, but it's one of those things that I think that exposure to this can help people who are struggling with this personally, and it can help people who don't have these problems, who aren't gay, whatever, but who don't understand what the gay struggle is, who don't understand what gay people go through on a day-to-day basis. It can help them gain understanding as well. So I think that'd be a great idea. But we did it. We survived. We made it through Gaya Pelikula. My eyeliner stayed intact. And so thank you guys for joining me on this journey. I would love to see a season 2. So hopefully that will happen at some point. But we'll just have to wait and see. But music, once again, Patricia, she did her thing. Vlad starting off singing, which triggered Into the Memories, God, because I just reacted to Ian singing Like a Virgin earlier in the week, and that was beautiful, and this was a totally different side to his voice that I didn't hear when I was listening to that. So it's just showing versatility in his voice, and it just set the mood, and just once again, music was fantastic. And now I can finally go and listen to that playlist that's on YouTube with all the soundtrack of this, so I can't wait to add that to my work playlist and just have me a good dandy old time. But I'm gonna stop babbling now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. I hope you guys enjoyed this journey through Gaya Pelikula. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to the writers. Thank you to the director. Thank you to the actors. Thank you to just everyone for blessing us with this amazing just art. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, turn on notifications so you'll be notified when all my shenanigans get posted. If there's anything else you'd like me to react to, be sure to leave it down in the comments. I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, you're more than welcome to join us over on Patreon. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to if you want to. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Love you. And before you guys go, a shout out to my amazing patrons. I can't begin to express how thankful I am for your support. And if you guys would like to join us over on Patreon, the link is down in the description. I love you guys.